Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat Podcast. It's episode 147 today, and we're back. We're going to be talking about the Premier League. We're talking about Chelsea's horrendous loss to West Ham. In fact, should we start with that? Because abysmal is the only word I can think of to describe it.
It was awful. I give up with Chelsea sometimes. It's so infuriating. As soon as we think we're back on the right path, with big point against Liverpool at home, looks to be on the up, and then a terrible performance against West Ham, especially defensively. Really poor. We let Lucas Paquetá, of all people, run rings round us. I'm not going to be selling my car to him anytime soon, but it was just really frustrating. Yeah.
That'd be a great one. But yeah, should we talk about the game then? Obviously, the opening goal coming through a James Ward-Prowse corner. I think it's absolutely criminal from Chelsea not to think, you know what, maybe we should mark the tallest bloke from a James Ward-Prowse corner.
So boring.
Maybe let's not concede corners.
Ward-Prowse is so boring. I'm glad he was at the Premier League because it could be a set-piece merchant. But he's back again.
But West Ham are going to be such a danger in set pieces this season because they've got great height.
I didn't see him at all, apart from that, in the game.
Well, he picked up a second assist, didn't he, later on for the Antonio goal. But Chuck Wemeka's goal then, a beacon of hope.
It was good.
And they got injured.
I thought that was awful. Yeah, he did get injured. I thought when he equalised and Chelsea on top, I thought this is fine. We'll get back in this. The fact is,
the first half we were much the better side.
Yeah.
Much the better side.
I'm telling you now, if that Enzo penalty goes in, completely different game.
Oh yeah, we either we win that 2-1 or it's a 2-2 draw. We don't end up losing, I don't think, from that. It's just a frustrating thing at the moment where Chelsea are clearly not playing bad football. We played really well against Liverpool. Unlucky we didn't get more than that, but quite fortunate because we started slow. Here, started slow again, but once we got into the game, we were much the better side. We just conceded stupid goals and didn't finish any of our chances. But if you look at the stats from the match, just a clear dominance. 2.49 in XG to 1.8. Obviously, that is inflated due to the penalty, but as you say, West Ham had a penalty, so it doesn't impact it too much there. 17 shots to 12 shots, but only 4 of Chelsea on targets, whereas 6 of West Ham's were. And that makes the difference. And obviously, Areola had a great game, saved the penalty, made a plentiful amount of saves as well. While Robert Sanchez
flats around.
Still got a lot of question marks.
So why we bought him? He got benched by Jason Steele.
It feels like we've spent money everywhere else apart from goalkeeper. I don't know why we didn't just go 50 mil for Coble.
Yeah.
50 mil for Mainan. Something like that. Maybe Mainan wouldn't have gone 50 mil. But there's a lot of players out there.
I don't care how much it costs. Anyone better than Robert Sanchez?
But if you look at Kepa and Sanchez, is there a massive jump up in quality? Probably not. So, it worries me that we've signed another goalkeeper. Especially since Kepa can play out from the back, as Poch wants him to. Sanchez can't. Sanchez can't really play out from the back.
I'd go get Bergstrom at this rate. Calling up from the Reddies. Give him a go.
Yeah, obviously Slanina's now out on loan at KAS Eupen, I believe.
I've got Marcus Bettinelli to shift.
Yeah, could get involved.
Well, okay, you
But yeah, obviously then West Ham second goal coming through Antonio. That was a really frustrating one to concede because firstly, Cole gets muscled off way too easily. I know it's Antonio, but you've got to just throw your weight around a bit more. Disasi, just step onto him. If you step onto him, he can't shoot. But he stands back and allows Antonio the time and the space to strike from the far corner, and Robert Sanchez needs to save it.
Disasi had such a strange start, because I think he wasn't great in the first...
He could have done more against Diaz.
In the Liverpool match. He wasn't great for the first 20-odd minutes in the Liverpool game. Then he scored, and then he had 70 minutes where he did really well, and then, again, he wasn't there.
It's going to take time for him to adapt to the Premier League. I think it's an odd choice to start him.
Which then he says, why are we starting him? You've got Fofana, you've got Badiashile.
Fofana's out injured. Badiashile's a left-footed centre-half.
I don't care. They shouldn't play both feet.
They can't.
They should be able to play. They can. They've got 2 feet.
If you want them on the right side. Well, we could have played Trevor Chalobah, but I don't know. If we're playing a 3-back, the Sassy sort of had to start. I don't know why we were playing a 3-back. Why we set up so defensively against West Ham? That's really concerning for me.
I don't know what Poch is doing.
But I don't know if it was a fullback because it looked like Colwell could have been left back. Chilwell flying up at the left wing, which if we are playing him left wing, why are we not playing Mudryk?
Exactly. And we didn't have a right winger.
Yeah. Do you think the second half downfall was a lot due to the change? Obviously, Wemeka coming off at half time due to injury. Mudryk came on into the middle of the park. I don't know if that was the right call.
We don't have a choice. Iamaka was injured.
No, I know, but we have other
In terms of
midfielders.
putting a ring on.
We could have thrown in Leslie Ugachukwu. We
just
could have
think
thrown in Moise Caicedo.
Defensively, we were crap. Mudryk, it's been over a year now. Cut the excuses. He's got to turn up. If not, we've got to think like that.
It did look sort of like a front three at times. I don't really know. Chelsea's system is very fluid, but it did look like Carney was playing on that left wing rather than as a midfielder that pushed forwards, and then Sterling on the right. Sterling was very good. Don't think that we've mentioned that yet. He had a really, really good game.
He did.
He looked really sharp on the ball. He looked really good running in between defenders. In general, it wasn't too bad. I thought Nick Jackson was really good again. He seems like an absolute handful.
He's just got to stop lashing at chances. You know, at times he did it in the Liverpool game, kept smacking it over the bar or putting it wide. He had another couple in the West Ham game where he did exactly the same. Remember that the ball in from Chilwell that he just headed miles over the bar.
Yeah,
it's that. I think that'll come with time though. And he will get a goal, but it's players like Mudryk where the questions have got to be asked. That was 100 million. You know. In January, we're looking at nearly over a year of happening.
That's the big difference, isn't it? Jackson has been afforded that time because he's 30 million. He's only played 2 games and he already looks like doing more than Mudryk did. I don't think Mudryk for 100 mil is a great transfer. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's a bold shout. We'll see how he develops, but I don't ever think he's going to get to the point where I go 100 million was a good amount of money.
Conor Gallagher still isn't good enough. I like him. I think he's a decent player. I just don't think he's a Chelsea player.
He actually didn't do too badly though.
He didn't, but that's the problem. He isn't a Champions League winning player. He isn't a
no, he isn't, but he's also not a Chelsea starter anymore.
Shouldn't be.
He started the first 2 games of the season, but with Lavia joining and Moise Caicedo joining, he doesn't start anymore. He's a brilliant rotation option in my opinion.
Should we talk about Caicedo? Because he came probably had the worst debut I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, failed to really make an impact apart from conceding a penalty.
Gave away a penalty, smashed one into Rose Ed, and that was about it.
Yeah, he did struggle to adapt, which is weird because he's played in the Premier League for the last.
Yeah. Also, I know he hasn't played in a few months because he didn't play for Brighton, and also he did really get pretty sick. But I just don't know.
He looked unfit. I would say he looked really unfit. I think we don't start him against Luton, in my opinion.
No.
I think he can get Lavia involved. If he's fit, let's get Lavia involved.
Who do we start? Because
Ugachukwu?
I look at who played against West Ham. I think half that 11 deserves to be benched.
I don't think we were that bad. I think we actually played some really good football. It's just a couple errors and the fact that our goalkeeper can't save anything.
But I can't. I don't want our whole thing to be the whole year if our goalkeeper didn't save it.
Well, if you look at the football ratings, the entire attacking portion was green apart from Chilwell, but he dropped to 6.9. So he was a 0.1 off a green anyway.
We can't have that defensive performance.
Still, 6.6, 6.6, 6.7 is fairly average from the back line. For a team that conceded 3 goals.
I think that's very high.
I don't think we played that badly. Sanchez, 5.4. He should have saved the Antonio chance, but that's definitely on Sassy because he should have stepped up to him, but also on Sanchez because he got a glove to it, he just couldn't save it.
I know it's Antonio, but you shouldn't get. He got flooded.
Yeah.
He got sent. It's like he was a 12-year-old boy versus a 30-year-old man. It was ridiculous.
It sort of is.
Well, he should do better, shouldn't he? And the penalty was crap from Caicedo. I don't know why in the 95th minute. Why you're doing that? Just stupid.
Yeah.
And then first got. It's just frustrating. 2 set pieces and a one-on-one chance.
Yeah, there's definitely work to do. I don't know why we're still playing the 3-back. It feels to me that we should play. I think against Luton we'll play 4-2-3-1. You'd like to think?
I bloody hope so because the whole point of Poch coming in is that we'd get rid of this 3-back that we've played for the last few years. Very up and down in terms of success.
Well, that's the problem with any team that sets up with 3 at the back. Is you then have to either change the entire squad, which we have, but we haven't changed our wing backs. So we're sort of stuck.
But I think Chilwell and Reece are good enough to play fullback.
Reece definitely. Chilwell, I have questions.
Well,
all I've seen.
Do you know what, Markson?
Marksman's very good, but he's also very attacking. They're both very attacking. We could play Colwell there for Friday.
I think Chilwell's fine.
For me, Chilwell is a very, very good attacking fullback. He's a good finisher, good crosser. In that portion of the pitch, in that top left third, roaming down that wing, very, very fun. Whenever we've got the ball in our own half, he is a bit of a liability. He concedes possession way too easily. He's a bit sloppy with his passing. He often leaves men unmarked. He is a little bit of a liability in my opinion, but I still rate him highly, and I think that is something that can be trained. You can train positioning, you can train passing. What you can't train is his instinctive bombing forwards and getting involved. So I don't think there's too much to worry about that. So, yeah, I don't think there's too much cause for concern. Other debuts, we had one debutant, Malo Gusto. What do you think of him in his debut?
He kind of didn't really do much, but I don't really mind that.
Nah, well, according to Football, we put in a really decent performance. 7.2 on his debut, 73 touches, a successful dribble, two passes into the final third. Very good. Couple of interceptions, recovery, stuff like that. Not bad. Won most of his ground duels. Pretty decent.
I see. He kind of just did what you're meant to do as a right wing back, and that's what you want from your backup.
Yeah.
Just to come in and do a job. I'm not expecting him to do what Reece James does. I'm just expecting him to come in and not be crap. And he wasn't, so that's fine.
Yeah, and I think once he grows into the Premier League, because I think there's still a little bit of a physical disadvantage for Malo Gusto, but I think he's still a really exciting player. Overall, it's actually not too bad of a performance, I don't think. You look at the scoreline and you go, Chelsea are still shite, waste all this money and all this. But if you watch the match, Chelsea were the better team. It's just silly things like not finishing chances
honestly, that is
and conceding stupid chances.
Sort of the most infuriating things I find is when people don't actually watch the football game, just see the result and then comment on it.
Well, that'll be the people commenting clown emojis and wanting Osimhen joining. They didn't watch the game. They just saw the result. Or they did watch the game, but they don't have the understanding of football, so they just go, oh, well, we didn't win, so we must be bad. If you actually watch the match, we did not play badly. We just conceded silly errors. And I think once those get cut out of this system, which they should with time, it's just about having time and patience and trusting Poch to iron out those little errors. But overall, I think I've got great optimism under Pochettino. I think that what is the point in being a football fan if you just think negatively? I really don't get it. For me, you've just got to back them.
Yeah,
and
Luton has to be a convincing win.
Obviously.
If not, then I have questions.
Well, I love Luton Town, but
if we do not beat Luton Town, then I will think negatively, and I will have questions of Pochettino.
Depending on.
Because if you're telling me we've got a draw to Liverpool, a loss to West Ham, and a drop of points at home to Luton, no.
Yeah, I mean, unless we've got Anthony Taylor on ref and he just keeps giving Luton penalties every 5 minutes for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, but that's I don't know.
But yeah, shall we move on? Because
Sure.
we've got some other exciting topics to talk about today. We're going to go back a day and we're going to talk about the Saturday game between Tottenham and Manchester United. Harry, how impressive were Tottenham for you? Because you've been slating them all summer. How good do you think they played?
I think they're all right.
Good.
No, but I think Man United were off the pace massively, and they didn't have midfield. And I think whenever you play a team that doesn't have midfield, you're bound to do well because you just have to run through it because it's not there.
Yeah.
Tottenham did play well. There's still a lot of things to work out, and I think against a better opposition, they do not win. Like I honestly believe exactly. If they played Brentford again this week, I still think they'd have drawn or lost. But United were rubbish. They were absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
Just lacked everything, and I thought they'd be up there for the title race, United, and they've looked rubbish.
I actually thought that in the first half, United were the better team. I think they created a few more chances. Tottenham still looked really good, but after half time, Tottenham looked really exciting. I don't know. I don't know what it was that Postecoglou changed, but they pressed different. They pressed slightly differently. Their pressing shape really intrigues me. They've got. So at the moment, Maddison pushes forwards with Richarlison to almost have two pressing the back line, and then they create a free with Son, Kulusevski, and is it Sarr that I can't remember if it was Sarr or who else played in midfield.
Bissouma.
I think it was Sarr that pushed forward. So it created like a 2-3, then the wing backs invert to form another 3, and then you've got your two centre halves. It's really intriguing out of possession system, and it looks like that in possession at times as well. So it just means you have this really a massive overload because you've got players everywhere to pass to. Leaves them a little light in midfield, I would say, but with the wing backs inverting, it's not too big a problem.
Doesn't matter because United didn't have anyone there.
Exactly.
Ten Hag, sort yourself out. Have a look in the mirror, mate, because he is a very smart bloke. And I don't know how long it's going to take him to work out that Bruno Mount and Casemiro does not work.
Well, this is intriguing me as well, is when do United fans lose patience with Ten Hag? Because, quite frankly, they were crap against Wolves and got very fortunate in that game that Wolves haven't bought a striker yet. And against Tottenham, they look completely off the pace.
I mean, they've got Forest this weekend, so that'll be a big teller. Forest at home, that has to be a win.
Yeah, it does.
And Forest side that have looked pretty decent in their first 2 games, so it won't be easy. So if United are off the pace again, they'll get punished. Simple
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think though, United, a lot of work to be done, and as you say, they should be winning. They've then got. I think they play Arsenal the week after that, don't they? So Arsenal on Sunday the 3rd September. That is not a very nice game if you're in a bad run of form. So it's not looking great for Man United right now. Looking very good for Tottenham. I think they're one of the more exciting teams in the league. They're very exciting. But should Tottenham fans be optimistic then?
Probably not, because you support Tottenham. I'd never be optimistic if I was a Tottenham fan.
But do you think Tottenham could get top 4?
No.
Why not?
They can't keep us up for 38 games.
Why not?
Because they haven't got a striker.
They have.
Richarlison is not going to score. He doesn't deliver the goals they need for a top 4 finish.
I think he will.
He won't.
I think once you get the right wingers into the right, look at the game on Saturday. Saturday. The goal that came was because Kulusevski, for the first time in the game, actually took the ball to the byline and crossed it in.
Like Postecoglou, it was Sarr.
Yeah, but on other occasions it will be Richarlison. There's a load of times in that game where Kulusevski and Richarlison were the only 2 forward, and Son as well. But he could have crossed the ball, but because he didn't want to take players on, he shied away in the corner. Or he tried to take players on and realised he can't. He's Kulusevski. So it created this weird situation. But if they get a winger who can deliver the ball to Richarlison will get it.
I just think for Richarlison, it's either he's in the wrong position, or the wingers aren't right, or the weather's not correct for him. Like when is he going to score a goal? When is it going to be right for him to score a goal?
I think he definitely has to score soon, but I do think that...
He's scored 1 goal since he joined Tottenham in the Premier League. That's last year.
The problem is, people compare him to Kane too often. He definitely should score more. I'm not saying he should,
though, because he's the one that they're replacing Kane with.
But Kane, because the biggest criticism I've seen of Richarlison is people defending him, saying, well, he doesn't get the ball, and then people going, well, Kane would always go and get the ball. The difference is, if Richarlison tries to go and get the ball, Postecoglou will be furious. Because that is not what he wants from his number 9. His number 9 is very much to sit on that last defender and be ready for the break.
Clueless idiots. Because hey,
it's because they've watched Harry Kane for the last few years and expect a striker that's going to drop in and receive the ball.
Because he's gone. Don't blame him. He's going to win the Bundesliga.
But do you think then Tottenham need another striker?
Yes. I don't think you can rely on Richarlison for a 38-game season. I honestly don't think you can. And Son isn't the same player that's going to get 10 goals, 10 assists a year. Kulusevski, why did you sign him? I think he was a one-lone wonder, and Postecoglou clearly doesn't want him. Sarr had a good game, despite his previous performances being rubbish.
For me, Tottenham should keep with Richarlison until January. See how many he's scored, because I think he'll still be in a good position in January to pounce.
I'm going to say he'll score 1.
I think he'll have 10 by January.
All right.
There we go. Keep up with that, everyone.
I don't know why it is. I don't think he's that very good anymore.
Then my if Richarlison hasn't performed by January, go and look at Ivan Toney. Because I think he'd be.
I think Toney's an idiot to go.
Why?
Because Brentford are better.
Right. They just aren't. They just
aren't. Look, Johan Visser.
Oh, they got Johan Visser then.
No, I don't. I need to see more from Tottenham.
Okay.
Because I think, yes, they won 2-0. Yes, it was a good performance, but against any other top 6, 7, 8 side in the Premier League, they lose.
Sarr looks brilliant, though.
Brilliant's a big word. He looked
big word for you, yeah.
No, he looked good.
No, he looked excellent.
He was not excellent.
He's really bringing back those what he really showed at Metz a couple of years ago. Very exciting player. I think he's got a big future ahead of him. What?
Metz. I could look good at Metz.
You couldn't look good at Metz.
Okay, could look good in Ligue 1 though.
No, you wouldn't.
Put me in the middle of the park in Ligue 1. I don't.
Get minced.
I would not get minced.
You would be blowing after literally 5 minutes.
Okay, I thought we'd say that.
Your football would have to create a new rating system just to factor in your performance.
Right. No, they wouldn't.
But no, I think Sarr's really exciting. I think he really works for this team. What Sarr does so well is picks up that ball and drives it forward. And the amount of lines of press that you can break by having someone that just drives the ball forward is really
I think
really
I
useful.
need to see them play against an actual midfield, though. Because there wasn't one for United, so Sarr could just run and then no one would stop him. Because Mount and Bruno were up on
there was a lot of space
at the edge of the penalty area, and Casemiro. I agree. Was it Jamie Carragher who said it? Or Casemiro, there's got to be question marks to Casemiro. Because last year, every now and again he had those woeful performances. And the first 2 games this season, he's looked really poor as well.
I don't think that's Casemiro's fault. I think it's the system's fault. He is so isolated.
I know, but still, I know.
Did you see that Wolves game? He was having to mark 4 players at the same time.
I don't know what McTominay's done to Ten Hag.
Well, I mean, you can't play McTominay DM.
No, play him in that midfield three. Why are you playing Bruno and Mount? They're both equally rubbish.
They're both attacking midfielders, so they're not going to work in it.
They're still both equally
They're
rubbish.
both playing as 8s at the minute, which just doesn't work. But yeah, I think they need a midfielder. They're still linked with Amrabat, but that doesn't seem to be moving very quickly.
Mount is very much out of form, and Bruno, and United fans come at me, I don't care. He's not a captain material, and I don't think he's that good.
Who would you give the armband to?
That's Luke Shaw.
Yeah, fair enough. That would have been my shout as well. Because Varane may well go to Saudi Arabia.
You can never get Aleksandr Martinez.
And I was going to say...
If your captain to remain calm and he just chopped his legs out.
You can't give the armband to someone nicknamed The Butcher.
No. Bruno's not a leader. He just whinges all the time. I don't get how United fans like him because I don't think he's very good and I think he's a twat.
Okay.
Just watching him on the football pitch, though, he's so infuriating to play against.
Exactly. That's why they like him.
But I can watch
That's why home team fans like Richarlison.
But if he played for Chelsea,
yeah,
I'd want him gone. Because if he rolled around the floor like that and whinged and whined like a baby, then I'd want him gone. I don't understand that. But I think that is one of the reasons why they're doing so badly.
Bit like Neymar, isn't he?
Yeah.
Clearly a talented player. Well, Neymar's a lot more talented. It's very different.
I still don't think Bruno's that very good. Take out his penalties and take out his whining and then look how good he is. I don't think he's that good.
Yeah. Right, final Prem thing before we move on to some different topics. Ooh. Shall we discuss Mitrovic? Aleksandr Mitrovic left Fulham to join Al Hilal.
How he waited till the season started.
Because he loves money and has no morals. But he's going to have great fun out there. Fulham, though, now have a big hole. But £52 million to replace it.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money. Shall we get into some replacements? So we've both brought some options to the table today.
Yeah.
You guys at home, feel free to get involved in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. There are no Spotify comments, unfortunately, but you can just sort of shout at your phone and we might hear it. But give on the comments of who you think they should replace him with. We've got a couple options then. Do you want to give us your first option, Harry?
Yeah, this one is more of a... So I've got kind of more of a safe one and then more of a bit of a more out there one. Bit of a pie in the sky.
A bit realistic and then a bit,
the first one involves them spending absolutely no money out of the 52 million.
Right. I'm trying to think what strikers are available.
Move to Dembele on a free.
Doesn't he have bad blood with Fulham? He used to
play for Fulham back in 2016, but since then he's gone to Celtic, which is a completely new experience. And he...
Is it Lyon, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was at Lyon. I'm just going to double check he's still on a free agent. But
I think he is.
Yeah, but he's a very good player. And he's kind of just what Mitrovic did, but a bit less angry.
Yeah.
He's just going to bully the centre-halves with his height and with his physicality and very, very powerful shot player.
He does fit the same sort of profile as Mitrovic. I just think he clashes too much with Raul Jimenez. Has he gone somewhere?
He has. Hold that foot. He's gone to Al Ettifaqui.
Oh, God. Oh.
Because I don't watch the Saudi news.
Yeah, exactly. But you hate to see it. Another one bites the dust.
Move to Dembele. I've seen my fans hate him.
Are you going to go for Harry?
Now I'm going to first check this one. I did double check.
I think this...
I did double check this before we did this as well. When you Google him, he still comes up with free transfer, but clearly Google on the same page. This guy is still at his club that he should be at. This one is a bit more out there. Santiago Jimenez.
That would be a great
final. It's a big shout, and he's going to be a lot of money.
The problem for me is I think there's going to be another Premier League club interested in him. Wolves.
Who picks Wolves? I mean,
everyone.
No, you don't put the Wolves over
Prospects. Gary O'Neill.
No, you don't do that. He was very good last year and was final on the Eredivisie.
He is a very, very good player.
He is a very, very good player. And although if you compare his stats to Mitrovic, they are much better. Obviously, Eredivisie, the Premier League, is probably there's a bit of tax there.
A little bit.
I think he's a very good player. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was valued at 22 million, but it's giving a lot more than that.
He perfectly replaces that Mitrovic profile.
He
Tall,
does.
Strong, strikes the ball really well.
I think Final will take them because they bought him for 4 million at the start of last season. I think they very much take the massive profit that they'd overturn of nearly probably 20, 30, 40 million.
I'm thinking it's going to look more like 40, 50, but yeah. It feels like that one feels very unrealistic. I think Jimenez may well leave it another season before getting a bigger move.
I mean, he is only 5'9", so he's a bit smaller than Mitrovic. Not quite the same presence, but still a very good striker.
For me, he would be the sort of ideal Osimhen replacement for Napoli.
Yeah.
Or I think Serie A basically is where he should end up. Because I was going to mention clubs like Inter and such, but yeah, I think Napoli fits in perfectly. He hasn't gone anywhere yet. No. I think he'll see the season out with Feyenoord. I've gone for some different options then, because I think Raul Jimenez is a really nice signing, around €6 million. It's not bad at all. I don't know what that rates to in pounds.
Why is it euros? It's between 2 Premier League.
No, I saw it now in euros. Because Jorge Mendes loves euros.
I hate him.
Loves any money. Loves all money, mainly Saudi money. But
of course he does. Yeah,
looking at their options then. Fulham like to have a tall striker obviously up front, like that presence up front. I think Raul Jimenez replaces that. But I looked at some other players, some different sort of options. First of which is Folarin Balogun. He's not in favour clearly at Arsenal. Jesus is injured and they've chosen to give Nketiah more minutes rather than give Balogun a shot.
Why?
Clearly he's out of favour. I think he'd be a really good addition. He's really good at chasing the ball in behind. I think he's a great finisher as well. And given the fact you've got Jimenez, it gives him that sort of margin to fail. If you know what I mean. Sort of, he can make mistakes because there's another striker there. He's not the only striker. Yeah. They can rotate there. So for me, he's a relatively low risk signing. He's obviously got some experience of Premier League in that he's been in a Premier League club. But he hasn't played in the Premier League, I don't think. If he has just a couple of minutes here and there. But
and to be fair, Arsenal do have a good history of players leaving and having a better future elsewhere.
They've got one of their own club.
Martinez.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Balogun was to leave.
The opposite of Brighton, where all their players leave and become shite for some reason.
Yeah.
They sell them all for 100 million, none of them do any good. But yeah, I think Balogun's a really, really exciting player. My other option was just to replace a Serbian with a Serbian. Luka Jovic. I think he's a really decent player.
Honestly, what happened to that bloke? He was brilliant at Frankfurt. Then went around, did nothing, and then went
that
to
was the system, wasn't
it?
Was that Marco Rose at Frankfurt, I want to say? No, he was at Gladbach. So, whoever the manager was at Frankfurt, they had a really exciting system. They played some nice stuff. Sabaler had the same thing. He moved to West Ham and was shite. Clearly still a good player because then he's gone to Ajax and Dortmund and done well there. But besides the point, Jovic got his big move to Real Madrid. Actually, at Fiorentina last season, looked really, really good.
Yeah.
We saw that, obviously, Conference League final. He looked quite decent in that match. For me, Jovic is a really, really talented footballer. And I think in the Premier League, he would be able to shine. So I think he'd be a good pick-up for Fulham. And, again, relatively low risk because you've got Raul Jimenez, who is your proven Prem striker, is your tall marksman. You then have Luka Jovic either as your starting sort of a shorter forward, different sort of option, or as a bench option. So for me, either of those would be really good additions.
Yeah,
and they both bring something really different to what they've got already in that front.
But they have to replace him because Raul Jimenez won't cut it.
No, and also
you know what happened to him? He kind of had that big break because his head injury.
Exactly.
And then he's kind of come back. He's just not the same player.
No.
He was really good, when Wolves first got back to the Premier League.
But also, Wolves aren't the same team.
No,
he got injured 2 managers ago.
Yeah, under Nuno, when they're a bit more Portuguese.
No, not even. He got injured because they've had Lager, then Lopetegui, now Gary O'Neill. So there's been loads of changes.
But he hasn't played for Wolves since Nuno, has he?
Yeah, he played under Lager.
But he got injured under Nuno. That's when he got his injury.
No, he got injured under Lager.
Did he?
Bruno Lager, yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
I thought he got injured ages ago.
Raul, you mean? No, he wasn't out for like 2 years, was he?
I thought he was out
It
for
was a good year, but
Yeah.
if we look at... Where is he? Oh, he's not in the Wolves squad, obviously, for God's sake.
I thought he got injured around that 2017-18 time.
No. Do you think he was in a coma?
No.
Where do you think he's been for the last 5 years?
I swear it was quite a while ago. I thought it was during lockdown.
So, he played 2 games into last season, and he played 15 in the season before. And then he got injured.
No, I thought
22-23.
I thought it was like 2021 season when he played 10.
No.
Why did he only play 10 that season then?
Don't know, injured.
Well, exactly, there you go.
Not head.
How do you know?
He did not get in. He's not been out with a head injury since 2021.
Isn't out for the whole thing, is it?
Right, I'm gonna find this out now.
I thought he got injured during lockdown, but I might be wrong.
No. Right. No, oh my god, he got injured ages ago.
Oh my god.
17th of August 2021.
So
Hang on. No, yeah, he got injured in November 2020.
There you go. And that's why he only played 10 games.
Yeah, he's been out a while.
Knowledge. Ball knowledge.
But why did he then play 34 games and only score 6 goals and then only played 15 in last season?
Because Lara didn't like him. They bought Neto and all that.
No clue what's going. So yeah, he has been for a load of Wolves matches because they've had.
Yeah, and he got injured under Nuno, as I said, and so he missed from November to August. You know, in November after that, that's a good. That's a good 8-9 months there.
Yeah, he got a
fractured
skull.
Pretty difficult, that.
Not fun.
No, he's got to wear that head thing, isn't he?
Does he?
Yeah, I think so. He's got to wear something on the side of his head. Not like Petr Cech style, but he's just got something on the lips. That would be cool, though, wouldn't he? Run around with Petr Cech.
The hat on, yeah. Would be decent. Anyway, next topic. We've got a couple more to cover before we call it a day. We're going to travel on down to the Championship. 3 matches into the season. We haven't spoken about the second division of England yet.
So much has been going on.
It's a very exciting league.
One day we get down League 2 and talk about they get random blokes to run the line.
We will one day. In fact, great. We could jump into that now. Portsmouth obviously having no officials. All of their officials got injured. Yeah, Portsmouth.
I might be Portsmouth.
All their officials got injured, and then one of the fans.
In the Premier League, they get over the PA system and go, does anyone here have the qualifications to run the line? And then some bloke comes down in his jeans.
But yeah, so Championship time.
Yeah.
What club was specifically talking about? Well, we're going to be talking about Ipswich Town. Now, we obviously have spoken about these in the past a lot. They had a very good season in League One last season. We did a little review of that at the end of the season. But we're talking about them this season because they are starting very, very strong. They play Leeds this weekend, but going into this game, 3 wins from 3. They also won the EFL Cup, so they've won every game this season. They sit top of the Championship as we speak today. Do you think they're a realistic candidate to go up to the Premier League?
I think they've looked good. I don't think they'll be up. I don't think it's up all season. You know, looking at they look QPR are rubbish. Yeah. Everyone knows that. Stoke at home was a big win. Sunderland away. That was a huge win.
This weekend will tell me a lot. Because I think Leeds have been crap. Shock.
Yeah,
They've been really poor. So, if they do fail to win that game, that'll be a sort of sign they're not quite at that top quality level yet.
I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think they'll be up for the whole season. And because right now they're very good form. But as soon as one or two... with the Championship, anything can happen. Honestly, anything happens in this league. It is mental. Yeah. And 1 or 2 losses can suddenly see you drop right down the table.
We saw it last season. QPR were top of the league after like a couple matches.
Yeah.
And they almost got relegated.
I don't think they don't want to start getting ahead of themselves just yet.
No, of course
I think they're going to win the league after 3 games.
But they do. They are playing some really nice football.
They have looked good.
I think
most of it comes down to their recruit. You know, they brought in Nathan Broadhead in January of last season. I
believe so. Yeah.
He did really well in the first few months there in League One, and he's because he is a Championship quality player. Obviously.
Yeah, well, signed for Everton.
Yeah, brilliant player.
Brilliant pick up that. George Hurst as well, coming in on a permanent. He was on loan with them last season, signed from Leicester on a permanent this summer.
Connor Chaplin looks like he's carrying on his form from last season. I think so far they've had players who were really good in League One that are cutting it in the Championship.
And you've got Leif Davis, who was playing Premier League football 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it's about how long these players cut it for. When they start playing against the teams like Leicester and Southampton and Leeds, as you say, the Premier League quality sides, how will they face off? It's interesting to see.
I think it, as you say, will be really exciting. It will be really interesting. I also think we're yet to see anything really from Amari Hutchinson, which is a dangerous prospect. I mean, he's barely played for them, but I think if you start giving him more and more minutes, he will shine. He's a very, very talented player. We know that, of course, as Chelsea fans, seen a lot of him in the academy.
And I think
very exciting player.
Plaudits have to go to Kieran McKenna. They played very good football, and he did really well, similar to Michael Carrick. They both left United, took up managerial roles in the Championship and League One respectively. Now they're both in the Championship. McKenna ball is pretty good. There's a lot of Ipswich fans that get very hyped over it, but also don't get ahead of yourselves.
We need to have a serious conversation about how good Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. Because they're both Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like, what do you call them? Proteges. They're both the proteges of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So maybe Solskjaer was a genius. He just needed that time.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think they play some really nice stuff, Ipswich. I think they are going to be up. They're definitely going to be top half this season. I don't think they're going to win the league.
No, I think the highest they'll be is a playoff semi-final defeat.
Okay.
I think they could get playoffs, but they won't win the playoffs.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, they're the only team on maximum points apart from Leicester, who equally have looked very good, but that's expected.
Leicester should piss this league. Leicester should score 100 goals.
So far,
more points than they actually can.
So far, they beat Cardiff 2-1, Huddersfield 1-0. They're not convincing.
They make it easy for themselves, but they should be.
They got Rotherham away, actually 7-0, because Rotherham are crap.
In terms of other clubs, I think Norwich have looked really good.
Yeah,
Norwich have played some really nice stuff recently, and I think the only reason they aren't right at the top there is because that Southampton draw, which I don't think is anything really to be ashamed of.
And I think
same situation for Southampton as well. So
I think that'll be a really interesting game, the East Anglian derby somewhere around New Year time, where if both sides keep this form up, that should be a brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant game.
16th of December, sorry.
December, yeah.
It's going to be a really good match, match, especially if they're both right up there challenging for it.
Because over the recent years, it's either been in the cup competitions or it's been when one side's playing really well and one side's not really
exactly. If you think back to the last sort of league, the last time they met in the league, Norwich won it and Ipswich finished like mid-table. So there wasn't that real competitive derby. I still think Ipswich may well have won, I believe.
But I think Ipswich are home as well. They've got T-Fair, Portman Road, because it's a big stadium compared to most in the lower leagues of football. It's a big atmosphere to go to, but I don't think they'll keep up. But I said 38 game season, didn't I earlier? They won't keep it up as 46.
Yeah, so you've got. I think Leicester can be right up there. I think Southampton can be right up there. I think Norwich look really good at the moment. I think Ipswich obviously look really good at the moment. Will they keep that up? Time will tell. Yeah. Birmingham right up there at the moment.
They're rubbish.
But they have beaten Leeds.
They have. But I think it's still a long way to go. There's still 43 games to play.
That's the thing. The Championship's so unpredictable.
2 teams to touch on.
Sheffield Wednesday could win it.
What has happened to Middlesbrough? They've lost. They didn't get Jake Ramsey or Cameron Archer back. They lost Chuba Akpom, and suddenly they look rubbish.
A loss to Millwall, a loss to Coventry. No, he's going.
He's gone. They haven't replaced them. They don't. Aaron Ramsey and Cameron Archer, they didn't replace them with
Speaking of Chuba Akpom, did you see Neil Warnock's quote about him?
No.
He was asked about it on some show. I can't remember what he was asked on it, but he said something along the lines of, "I hope Ajax haven't spent a load of money on him," or something like that, because he's not a very good player, and he only had one good season, and all this, and it's like no wonder, because and then someone quoted that with a clip of Akpom talking about Carrick.
Yeah.
And he was saying, I've finally got a manager who believes and trusts in me.
Yeah.
He's finally got a manager who believes in my quality. And you can see, no wonder he believes that. Because clearly Neil Warnock had no belief in him at all. So.
But I think, when does the pressure lie on Carrick? Sitting 23rd after 3 games. Yeah. Also, Daniel Farker and Leeds, quite possibly the worst football club in England.
They've had not a very nice fixture list so far. Cardiff, Birmingham, West Brom.
Birmingham, 91st minute penalty. That's a tough one to take.
Ipswich and then Sheffield Wednesday were said a lot.
Cardiff took a 95th minute equaliser. And West Brom, again, they went behind at home.
They even conceded to Shrewsbury.
When did Leeds ever go behind at home? The whole point is they are kind of... Their home crowd is their identity.
Yeah.
Because it is meant to be a hostile, horrible place to go. Teams are now rocking up there and just playing normally.
The next few games are going to be really interesting because I've got Ipswich, which is a big test.
Away.
Sheffield Wednesday at home. they should hit double figures. Millwall, Hull. Millwall Leeds is going to be the most disgusting. Right, the police presence required on that stadium is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be the biggest thing you've ever
Everyone's going to run out of money because the coins are everywhere.
They're going to need more police people than crowds.
Yeah.
Like, I think 2 per 1 Millwall fan should just balance it out nicely. It's going to be an interesting one, that. Then they've got Hull.
I'll have to hop down for a laugh.
I don't want to die. So they put me up in a box.
I'll put a helmet on.
The blocks with bulletproof windows. Then they've got Hull. Hull have been doing alright, haven't they? I think. Yeah, 7th in the league. And they built a decent little side. They lost an Origin in the opener, but beat Sheffield Wednesday, beat Blackburn. Not too bad.
They are a decent side. They recruited really well, didn't they?
Yeah, they got players like Adama Traore. Not
Aaron
that
Conley's rocking around. He was playing the Premier League a couple of years ago.
Not very well, but he was there.
Liam
Delap's on loan. That's not a bad pickup. Other than that, a load of players I don't really know.
Similar to last year, though, obviously the playoff race went right down to the wire. There was 8-9 teams right at the sharp end.
Yeah.
Apart from Burnley. I think...
Are Leicester the new Burnley?
Maybe, but I think we could have a brilliant battle going on for the playoffs. Between 7 or 8 teams. Similar to last year. So
and again, the same as last year, we've got some really exciting young coaches. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned McKenna there, but I also think that the Leicester manager, obviously Pep's former assistant, that Enzo Maresca, he's a really good manager as well. Only 43 years old. I think he's got a good future.
But what I like is
Russell Martin as
young kind of managers coming through against your typical championship managers in Wagner and Farke.
Who's Birmingham's manager? John Eustace. I don't know who he is. Used to manage QPR and Kidderminster. Well, he's worked his way through the levels, so fair enough.
Russell Martin's now at Southampton.
Ryan Lowe at Preston. Also don't know him. They're all very young. He's only 44.
They are pretty young.
So there's a lot of the teams at the top of the league at the minute have young managers. Liam Rossigna at Hull.
He's actually got a job now.
Looks like it. But he was Derby's manager. Then he got demoted to assistant coach.
Did he come on an interim basis? Maybe.
No, he was always assistant coach. They put the Derby manager role below it because he was the interim. Then he was assistant coach for a couple more months once he finished up being interim, and he just joined Hull in last November.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, he does have a job.
All right.
Somehow. And then Stoke. I'm expecting it to be like Mark Hughes, Alex Neil. He's also not the oldest.
Kicking around.
He's 42.
How young was he when he managed Norwich then?
Well, Norwich was 2015.
Blimey.
8 years ago.
He was 34.
A child. Alex Neil was a child.
He was 34 when he managed Norwich. I did not know that. He looked like 50.
It's because
he got involved so early.
And then Watford, Valorant Ishmael, who is a really good manager.
He'll be sacked in a couple of weeks.
He will be. But, good one.
Really exciting league.
Yeah. That certainly is. Shall we look at some other exciting leagues? Because 2 other leagues that came back this weekend for their start of the seasons is, of course, the Bundesliga and Serie A. Which one do we start with?
We'll start with Serie A.
And Serie A, I want to talk about AC Milan.
They're going to piss it.
Because they were on last night. You think?
They're going to piss it.
Well, everyone started strong, to be fair. Like, Fiorentina won, Juve won, Napoli won, Atalanta won, Inter won, AC won.
No shape has been taken.
Roma drew.
Because Lecce are joint top.
Of course, yeah, you can't really tell much from the first game week, but Milan played some nice stuff, didn't they?
They did.
And who they just signed today? No. Benjamin Pavard.
Yes.
That's a fantastic pickup.
Pulisic and Giroud, back to a bang.
This is what, right, just look at their starting lineup from yesterday, and then just go, is that better than the current Chelsea team? Because I genuinely worry that it might be, and half of them used to play for us.
To be fair, they have got, you said Tomori, Loftus-Cheek,
Giroud,
Pulisic.
Look at that team.
And we've been linked with players like Leao.
That team does better in the league than we. Tior, great player. Mainan, great player. Hernandez, great player. Leao, great player.
And you got youngsters like Okafor and Lorenzo Colombo coming through.
Chukwueze.
Yeah, very good.
I didn't even know Samuel Chukwueze was there. What a
Yunus Musa. This team is mint.
They need to, Milan need to be.
They're going to win the league. They're going to win the league.
They're going to piss it out of it, that's right.
So, as I said, Napoli won it last year. I don't think they're very special. They're good.
I don't what on earth.
They're good. They're good. But Kvaratskhelia out until September.
Oh, yeah, they're going to win the league now.
It's a big couple days.
Out until next Friday.
Osimhen did score a double in their first game.
He's going to do well again, isn't he, really?
They played Frozone. He's Frosinone.
Frosinone,
He's the bloke
not
from Incredibles.
Not didn't play Frozen. That is the bloke from the Incredibles.
They went 1-0 down though, so maybe a bit of shape.
Roma drew. That's slightly concerning.
Yeah, but Jose Mourinho's just had shits and giggles, isn't he?
They signed signed Marcus Leonardo. He doesn't join until January though.
He's Jose Mourinho's only 60.
When Belotti is your main goal scorer, that is a slight concern, isn't it? I mean, it's very interesting 3-1-4-2 system. Cristante looks so isolated because I made it so long. But yeah, and obviously 2-4. This is the most aggressive attacking system.
Love it.
It looks like Alwar and Bobe are playing as
Mourinho.
attack midfielders, and then Christensen and Smith-Zone are like wingers, so she's run forward.
Love it.
But yeah, Belotti brace on the opening game. Candreva brace for Salernitana. I didn't know.
Around. He's not 40.
He is 36. I don't know why he was playing. It says he plays attack
36.
midfielder, but they didn't play any attack midfielders. They played a 4-4-2, so don't. No, it was a 3-4-1, so I didn't notice this
2-1.
Botheim bloke. But yeah, brace for Candreva playing.
But overall, it's going to be your usual suspects, your Milans, your Juve, your Napoli, your Lazio.
So, prediction: who's winning the Scudetto?
Milan are going to beat it.
I will go boring Juve.
How are Juve going to win it?
Because they would have been second last year. Allegri plays the most boring brand of football. They would have been second.
dull.
Without the point deduction, they'd have been second last year.
dull
And I don't think Napoli will have as extraordinary a campaign. So I think they'll just
think AC Milan are going to win it.
won't they? They're Juve. They're boring Juve. I hate watching them play. They beat Udinese 3-0. Chiesa's back. Vlahovic scored as well. I think they could do well.
No, I couldn't.
Udinese are actually quite a decent
Yeah,
side.
still got Rodrigo. No, he's left.
And their goalkeeper drew a 4.1 though,
Yeah,
so the question's got to be asked.
yeah.
They've got Florian Tauvin now.
No, I'm there. That's
a great pick-up.
He's out.
He's 30. He's been around for years.
How is
They
he
also
only
signed Jordan
30?
Zamora from...
Bournemouth last year on loan.
No, it was a free agent, and then they let him go on a free this summer.
Why? I thought he was pretty good.
Apparently not. And they got Lorenzo Lucia.
What's
Udinese side's going to win the whole thing. Every team we look at. Isaac Success is there. You've got to be successful with Isaac Success.
He was brilliant at Watford.
Brilliant one way to describe his time at Watford.
He was successful.
I've got a few other ways.
Right.
But shall we? Right, I think
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga as well. Then we'll get into some FPL and then we'll round it off.
Unsurprisingly, this is probably going to be
Boring, Bayern.
Yeah.
Should we talk about their opening game?
League.
Not yet, but they'd win 4-0 in the opening weekend against Werder Bremen. Sane got a brace. Kane scored a Matthias Tell coming off the bench to score at the end.
He's dull, isn't he?
Who? Kane or any of the others?
Bayern, they're so dull.
They're a bit boring.
Even City went 4-0 on the opening day.
No, on 3-0, but...
Oh, yeah. Bayern are just boring. But it's not... Well, you can't kick them out of the league because then it would be dull because no one would fight.
No, they would.
I don't know. Yeah, they would because Dortmund are right. How Dortmund didn't win it last year, I do not
choking.
know. How did they not win it last year? Lost to Cologne on the last day of the season.
Yeah, but some really good football played by Tuchel's side. Their system works really well, and I do think though they've got to be tested against better
I
sides.
think Dortmund will. What did Dortmund do in their opening game?
Dortmund won 1-0.
Oh, God.
Marlon scored in the 88th minute to salvage it against Cologne.
Oh, God.
If you look at their starting 11, a very good performance. They didn't play well. Very good performance. Bentabani was man of the match, apparently. Fair enough. Good player. Yeah, he was their Guerrero replacement. Obviously, Guerrero left for free to join Bayern.
As always. Bayern will be 7 points clear of Dortmund, who are 3 points clear of Leipzig, who are 1 point clear of Leverkusen.
Do you think Leverkusen will be right there? I didn't know Felix Lemeka had joined Dortmund.
Who?
Felix Lemeka.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
It's an interesting pick up as well. We're just looking at leagues now going, wow, I didn't know who was there. But yeah. Because that's what, with the transfer window, it's so difficult to keep up with every transfer.
Yeah.
So then you get to this point of the
plays
season.
about 300 times a day.
Yeah.
And Sky, things like Sky only cover the English transfers.
Yeah.
So when it's a transfer in European clubs, you miss it.
Yeah. So it's really fascinating to see. But yeah, I'm fond of look for all the Bundesliga clubs now. Shall we look at Stuttgart? Because they top the league at the minute, and I don't know what they did. So they beat Bochum 5-0, so Bochum aren't very good. But Mavumpa, obviously used to be known as, or Silas, people will know him as. Obviously had that whole name thing.
That
he
FIFA
was
card,
he was great on FIFA. He was
great.
very good on FIFA.
Silver Star.
He scored a brace.
I haven't played FIFA in a while.
Seru Girassi, he's been a decent number 9 for a while now. He used to play for Rennes, just joined Stuttgart, got a hat trick in 2 games for them so far. So he scored in the cup.
Right, predictions: Stuttgart win the Bundesliga.
There we go. Stuttgart win the Bundesliga.
If Stuttgart win the Bundesliga, we'll get Stuttgart.
They've got Zagadou.
Should we do that?
Mate, well, hang on, let me see what the Stuttgart shirt looks like this.
If we're in Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, we'll get Stuttgart shirts for the last game of the season.
If anyone other than Bayern wins the Bundesliga,
buy their shirt. No road.
I've just searched Stuttgart and there's a price and I don't see a picture of the Stuttgart shirts and just some fancy buildings. Here we go. That's the 1980 shirt.
Okay, we don't want that one.
That's a remake.
I want
That's
the real
quite nice though. There's their shirt from 3 years ago. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, this is grand.
23-24.
Ooh. Boring, but we'll get it.
Yeah, it's not offensive.
It's not offensive. What are you expecting to be written on it?
Dull, isn't it?
That's got a pattern.
Oh, yeah, a little. Okay, we'll pick up Stuttgart shirts if they win this cadet. If they win the what do they call it? It's not the cadet. That's it.
Oh yeah.
What do they call it?
We
could just say Bundesliga, but they've got a name, haven't they? They've got some fancy name for it.
I want to say the classic, but that's the derby, isn't it?
That's the Dortmund derby. Also, Bochum look crap, and they got to play Dortmund next week.
They'll beat them though.
When is that game on? I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch every minute of the goals.
Purposes.
It's on 2:30. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be on TV. I don't think it's on TV. Fuming. They put Gladbach Leverkusen on. But yeah, shall we talk about Fantasy Premier League now?
Yeah,
what are you looking at?
I'm just looking at referees for next week. It's just popped that game week. They just released it.
Right.
We're recording. It's 10 a.m. on Tuesday. That's the release of referees for next game week.
Yeah, nice. Should we talk about FPL instead of you looking at referees?
Yeah.
So, do you want to start?
I am so good at FPL. I am so good.
What's your score this week?
77 points. And I pride myself on the fact I am 48,000th in the world.
That's very good start to the season.
Thank you.
You've got to keep it up now. There's
Probably
pressure.
not.
Pressure.
And I could have 87.
Hang on, where are you in the TFC league?
I'm 14th.
Wow. When we used to read out the top 10, you'd almost be in it.
I'd almost be in it. But I had 77. I'm going to start with, I could have 87. I put Pickford in goal on 0.
Classic, isn't it?
And benched Areola on 10. So I could have been flying.
Yeah. I could have been on 100 if I actually picked different players.
No. I'm being...
No.
Yeah, but... Right. If people haven't watched the streams, they haven't heard me say this. On the Friday night in the deadline, I couldn't get signal to get on the app to look at my team. So I did not captain Erling Haaland, and I accidentally captained Johan Visser.
I knew in that moment Visser was grabbing a brace or something like that, and Haaland would
goal
blank.
and assist, Haaland blanks, best gamble of my life. Watkins assist.
Campbell, you misclicked and couldn't it.
And I couldn't get there by then. I just forgot to double check my... Obviously, I'd done it previously in the week and must have just fannied around with it. But I forgot to check it on the deadline. Glad I didn't.
Are you going to captain him again this week?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, it's got Sheffield United.
Go blank again.
Midfield, where my most points were at. Matoma 12, Saka 3, Odegaard 11 and Foden 9.
Yeah.
Defensively, Chilwell and Shaw both got me 1. That's disappointing. But Superman 11. Areola just picking up 0 because he tried to get booked, give away a penalty, concede 4. Yeah, it wasn't a great weekend for him. And Areola picked up 10 on the bench. A bit disappointing there.
Very good though.
Big 77 on
well done.
Thank you.
My game week wasn't as fun. 47 points. Captain Haaland, that obviously didn't go well, as many people are aware of. João Pedro, he got subbed on for 1 point, got that taken away from him.
I'm 12th in the TFC league.
That's how he's going to keep rising.
Yeah.
Throughout the episode, it just gets higher and higher.
And if I put Areola in, I'll be 2nd.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is.
But we'll touch on who is second line.
We will in a minute. So I had João Pedro nothing, Nick Jackson 1, Haaland 4 with the captaincy. Terrible front line.
Ouch.
Rashford 2, Martinelli 3, Saka 3. All of them let me down again.
Yeah.
Considering bidding off Rashford, may do it, who knows. And then Mitoma 12, so thank you Mitoma for saving me some points. A Superman 11, 1 for Malo Gusto, that was a gamble. Yeah. And I benched a Kanji who had 7, so that's a bit annoying. That could have been another 6 points there. And then Saliba 8 as well. On my bench, Richarlison 3, Akanji 7. That's another potential 9 points if I replace João Pedro and Gusto, which would have put me on a bit more of a respectable 56. But either way, 47, not horrendous. Onana in goal as well for 2. It's not ideal. United let me down big time. I am considering binning all of their players as quickly as possible. But TFC League-wise, still in the top 200.
Fair enough.
Could be worse. Could be worse. And I am 1.4 millionth overall.
Ouch.
Yeah. But it's all right because next week I have Nick Jackson against Luton Town and Haaland against Sheffield United. And they're going to get hat-tricks.
I don't know my team next week. I've still got in my transfer.
Should we look at the TFC League?
Yeah.
Because we have a new table topper called Usual Suspects. Their team name is Usual Suspects. Their name is Yanni Big One. Welcome to the top of the table. 170 overall, 85 points this week. Shall we run through it? Well, Edison in between the 6 for a lovely 6 points. A back 3 of Botman, Saliba, Estupiñán, picking up 2, 8 and 11 points respectively. Already a very good start. Across the midfield, pretty much perfect, eh? Mitoma 12, Mbeumo 16, Odegaard 11, Saka 3. Frontline, captained Haaland and still rose to top of the league. Vissa and Jackson. Imagine he'd captained Mbeumo. He would be top of the world right now and he'd be in our league. Yeah.
But just touching on that, they didn't maximise their performance. If they put Areola in over Edison, that'd be an extra 4 points. If they put Maddison in over Jackson, an extra 2 points. That's another 6 points there. Plus, if there's shifts for their captaincy,
they could have been top of the world.
They could have been looking at a 100-point game week.
And they would have got over that 205 mark of the current overall topper. And they'd be in our league.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this guy's in our league.
Yanni Big One, congrats to you. You are the game week 2 table topper.
Yeah. Mutant Ninja Skirtles, by the way, back for another season, up in 10th. What we expect really from Mutant Ninja Skirtles. Josh Bertha always doing well. He was in our league last year and did well.
If you are in the league, let us know where you are. Or if we have shouted you out, get involved. Make sure to head over to YouTube and comment, and we'll, to make because I don't quite know if anyone we've shouted out before has actually mentioned it.
Should we both do a random scroll through and pick out a team?
Sure.
Because while they won't, all the top performing ones will be at the top. You can just scroll through and shout something.
I'll just go randomly scroll through.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's go down. Here we do. What we've got to find. We have found. I'm trying to find a nice score. Decent score. Give me a decent score. A 73. Is that good enough?
Go on then.
Babley30 is their team name, and the manager is Babley30 Ali. Very inventive, using your name as the team name.
Smart. You won't lose it then.
Decent game week. Most of the points come from the front line with Antonio 9. That was a massive gamble. Vista 11. They did captain Haaland, so that is a missed opportunity there.
Times.
Midfield picked out Julio and Caicedo, which again is a very big gamble, seeing he doesn't start.
7 points though.
And Bueno picked up the big 16. Saka picking up the usual 3. White picked up 7, Estupiñán 11, and then Trippier and Shaw on 2 and 1. Onana in goal on 2. 73. Their bench
is all injured.
Yeah, the whole bench injured. They got Stones to Silva and De Bruyne, so they couldn't really maximise any more points. So fair enough to Babley30.
I've picked out a guy in 49th in the league, mainly for his name.
Babley30 was 132nd.
I've got a guy in 49th, mainly for his name. Tommy Rowe is his name.
Yeah.
And that's not the interesting part. His team name is Vodka Martinelli. Very good. Love it. So I looked at his team. Not a great week, but it's still up there. 4 for Haaland, none for Pedro, 5 for Watkins. 16 from Mbeumo, 12 from Mitoma, 3 from Saka, 3 from Martinelli, 1 from Chilwell, 1 from Gabriel, 11 for Estupiñán, and 2 from Turner. Very similar week to me in that no real points. The only difference was he had Mbeumo and I had Rashford. Yeah. Other way around, and kind of same sort of playing field. But yeah, not a bad week for him either, and I really like the name.
I know we're only allowed to shout out one, but I'm going to shout out 2 persons. 2 people. 2 persons. 2 people. They only scored 49 points. But again, it's because of their name. I just have to mention it. Kieran White with the Backstreet Boys.
Come on. He's won FPL. He wins the league.
That is quality. They didn't score very many points, only 49. They had Estupiñán, Guerrero and Watkins.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything of mine.
They benched Pau Torres to get a clean sheet. That was a missed opportunity. 49 though, it's above average. And Kieran White, that is a superb name.
Who has Pau Torres? I don't know. A rogue pick.
Like, is he 4.5 though? Is he? I think he's 4.5.
Maybe, yeah. And now that Mings is out, it's pretty much guaranteed mins.
Backs Kieran White with the Backstreet Boys. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Should we call it there?
We should call it there, yeah.
We are back next week with another podcast. In the meantime, tonight, the day this goes out, we are live tonight for Aston Villa Hibernian.
We're watching Hibernian.
It's a UEFA Europa Conference League qualification match. But obviously, Harry's a Villa fan. Going to be excited for that one, are you?
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
FJM derby. He's in good form as well, scoring against Everton, so he's going to score again tonight.
Indeed. And then, other than that, Premier Predictions out on Friday. We're live this weekend as well for the Premier League. I believe it's Newcastle-Liverpool on the Sunday. So join us for that. So it'll be a real good one. Hope to see you there. Newcastle, tough start the season, given who the fixtures, tough start. But
despite being on 4 points, they haven't looked great, so it'll be interesting.
Will be very interesting. But yeah, we'll be back for all of those. Check out all the other content. If you want something to watch in the meantime, head back and watch last week's podcast where we talked about Aston Villa, Newcastle, and loads of other fun things. That is everything for this week, though. Thank you guys very, very much for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.